Good morning, Super Truckers. How you doing? It is Christian with Voyager Nation Super Trucker Podcast coming to you live. So welcome to 2026, my people. It is time to get the party started. So coming to you live, what we do once again is gather questions across our multimedia social media platforms and answer them on the morning in the mornings. Now, I've been blessed with last few days of orientation. So we always take what's happening in the now to bring it to you live. So if you look at the title, it is about PSP. So for my people that are out there who don't know what that is, it is the Pre-Employment Screening Program, and that was developed by FMCSA. And I get it, a lot of guys out there with plenty of experience know exactly what I'm talking about. But what I do find is that time and time again during these orientations, guys have never seen them before. And so that's what prompted us to talk about it real quick because it definitely matters. It's something that you should be paying attention to because it will affect you. So really at the end of the day, what it does, it's a scorecard, right? A carrier has a CSA and they have that score. The PSP is tied to the driver. So what's going to happen, my people, it is going to be 5 years of accidents that is recorded on there. And then it's going to have 3 years of your violations. And so that is going to be visible to the hiring carrier. And yes, it is a voluntary thing. It's not a DOT requirement that the carrier has to pull it. But a lot of the times what happens is because of that, people think that no one is pulling it when it's actually used a lot more than people think. For all the people that I know in the industry, pretty much everybody's pulling it. That's why it's a little shocking that a lot of guys never seen their own. And I'll tell you a little bit about the problems that come along with something like that. But at the same time, this is made to put good information in front of good people so that you actually get that opportunity to take care of your work history, to take care of your file, your record, because it is important. It will come back and haunt you. So remember, there are a lot of guys, the common question I get or the common understanding I have is like, yo, but my MVR is clean, so how the hell is that popping on my PSP? And failure to make that connection. Well, your PSP is actually pulled from your federal inspections and crashes, right? So sometimes what happens is guys get a warning, and there's a lot of times that everybody thinks that a warning doesn't mean anything, and you're going to get the opportunity to just walk away from whatever situation you're in. But people, that is not the case, because what happens is a warning is not a ticket. It's exactly that. It's a warning, and it is going to hit your PSP. It will be there. You're not able to take that violation or that ticket, get somebody to fight that for you, and then that queue it off, right? Because I've seen that a lot. So sometimes what guys are going to do, so they get this ticket, right? They get this violation, they get the ticket, and then what they're going to do, they get a lawyer. The lawyer goes in front of there. They plead it down. They change the violation. Let's say it was a speeder to something different, so it doesn't weigh as heavy, right? And then what typically has to happen is, yes, it's going to get moved off of the MVR because that you're in that court system at that moment, right? So your lawyer's there, you're in that court system. It gets recognized there. However, there's an additional step you have to make, especially if you're the guy fighting it. The reason I'm bringing it up, I've seen people spend the time, I've seen people spend the money, and they spent time and money, and that's as far as they went, thinking that the problem is going to automatically go away or that they did enough for this problem to go away. But what happens is that the state level is not talking to the federal level, and it is not getting that acute. And so what I mean by that is that you should be taking all the documentation you've been given by that judge, that lawyer, as far as what has come off of your, what the plea agreement was, whatever the new violation is. Take that information, and you got basically two options right here. Probably the easiest is to get with your safety team, give them the info so they can data queue that off of your PSP. Yes, it's going to come off of your PSP, and simultaneously it will come off of their CSA, or it's going to get readjusted to the new violation. So if you got from a speeder to who knows, like some kind of faulty equipment or something like that. So the new violation is going to reflect. Obviously, that is going to be less points. So the idea is to never get in this situation. We're just talking about when you're in it, and we're talking about know what a PSP is, know when it's going to come up, and you should know what's on it. So, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because yes, we've been doing orientation back to back, and it has come up. So there's a couple things that come along with that that you should be aware of. All right. So first, everybody's using it. Yes, they're using it to check on behavior. You're going to see a pattern, and so that's number one. So now that let's get back to that guy, right? So let's say you paid that money, you're working off of that violation, they data queue it, it's going to come off of your record, and it's going to come off of their records. That violation is going to be the same. So what's going to happen is it's in their best interest for it to come off of the carrier, and it's in your best interest to come off of your PSP. And so I even had a guy have to update his work history because of a PSP. So let me explain that. So the situation was the following: the guy takes a job, right, and what happens is it didn't last for more than a week for whatever reason. Maybe it wasn't exactly what he thought it was gonna be, and so now he's in it, and he actually gets his old job back and he leaves. But in that 1 week of working with that individual, he was pulled in, and he had an inspection. So whether it's a clean inspection or whether it is you got a couple violations in the inspection, now it's listed there. So now because it's on that PSP, even though in your mind it was just a week, it doesn't matter. Boom, you're going to have to update your work history because you per the regulations, you actually worked there. And now on that PSP is the proof that you were actually working during that time. So it's kind of crazy. I had this guy up in a buddy of mine that worked up in Richfield Park, New Jersey, and he was pulling for big company, mega carriers, and so for whatever reason they had to pull they pulled his they I don't know if he left and came back or whatever the case may be, and so once they rehire him, he actually helped. He wasn't able to get rehired, and let me tell you why: because of his PSP. And what did they find? So a buddy of his actually asked him to get to help him out. One of his drivers didn't show up, and this is just a regular Saturday morning, just dump truck work going into New York. So yeah, he's got to cross the GW and all that good stuff, right? So the guy's like, yeah, I'll help you out, a couple $100 cash. What could happen? What could go wrong? Well, what happened was the following. So he catches a couple violations out there for just helping a buddy out in one day. He's thinking, I'm not even a driver for this guy. I'm just helping him out. And all of a sudden it's on his PSP, which prevented him from going back to the mega carrier. And also the next part of it. So if you're a guy out there with multiple trucks and you got a few people working for you, and you keep those DQ files and all of that good stuff, now he's on the list as if this driver got an inspection under your flag. So there's a couple things that are going to happen there, right? So in an audit, guess what happens? They usually come with names, right? They don't just come in looking for arbitrary files or anything like that. It's usually the guys that are having the bad inspections out on the scale house, and those are the names that they're coming with. So if you're not that big and you just got a couple trucks, obviously, that one guy is going to represent possibly 50% of your fleet. So they're coming. But you got no DQ file on this guy. You got no drug test on this guy. You got nothing. So be cautious with that. It serves exactly that, to give people information, on that. So be careful out there, guys. Please know about it. If you've never looked at your PSP, it's something that you should definitely do. It's free. Get that going. It's FMCSA. You can pull that for yourself, so you always know what's on there, especially nowadays, where a lot of guys, whether they're telling the truth or not, it's like, oh my God, culture shock when you put the PSP in front of them. Because yeah, we do that during our orientation. Guys are going to get their PSP. Some guys know exactly what's on it. Some guys are actually even shocked to think that they found things on there and they're like, oh shit, man, that guy told me just to keep going. It was a warning and it didn't matter. Well, let me tell you, it's on there, it's there. So be cautious with that. Um, so that you can actually know what's on there, you can address it. Sometimes you gotta data some stuff off. Sometimes you just can't. So and you got to pick those battles, and you got to be cautious with that. So we got a comment. So you just tell the DOT that you're not a driver. Easy. Yeah, pretty much. So here we go. So I guess you just tell the driver that's not your guy. I mean DOT. So here we go, guys. Pay attention to that. The reason I bring it up, it's kind of alarming. A lot of guys that have never seen it. I think with a lot of the fraud out there and all that good stuff, you just want to check bases on that. So it's something that's free to you. Check it, and it also helps evolve your experience. So what happens is the following, right? Um, you know, you had the experience of getting that roadside inspection. You think you got away with it. You think that nothing has happened. The carrier never reached out to you, whatever reason, even though they should have. And now you think nothing happened because the other shoe never dropped. But now you come to find out you're going to be in between, you're leasing out to a different carrier. And maybe, you found that badass job that you've been waiting forever. Maybe it's that seasonal shit that you love to do and you're going to go there. And now all of a sudden you cannot participate. And the reason you cannot participate is because you got blemishes on that PSP that you thought weren't going to be there. So guys, you got to pay attention to that bad boy. That is one of the things that, I don't know why people underestimate this report. But you definitely have access to it. You should be checking it. So you know exactly what's there. And like I said, now you can, you had the experience, you had the roadside inspection. You thought he let you go. Carrier never called you, but yet here it is, and you have to explain what transpired. Now that you're trying to get that new spot. So be cautious with that, especially if you're that first time owner operator. And you've had some blemishes. If you've been out there, you've been pinched. We were actually talking about that yesterday, where a lot of guys that are company drivers that are becoming owner operators catch violations for the trucks. All that stuff is going to be documented on that PSP. Whether you own the truck or not has no bearing on that violation going onto your PSP score, guys. So be cautious with that, because at the same time, right? Let's say you got banged for turn signal, marker light or something like that, right? A couple of those things. Yes, sometimes DOT stacks them and it looks a lot worse than it is. But at the same time, in their mind, you did the pre-trip. Regardless if you own this bad boy or not, you were doing the pre-trip. So you are ultimately responsible for when you rolled out. You made the sound decision to do so. So now it's on the individual. Even though you think it doesn't weigh on you, it absolutely will. And you get enough of those, and now it's going to, this ability to actually go get a job anywhere is going to change for you, because now you're not as marketable, right? So pay attention. I've seen it take people out of the market because it's just 2-3 pages of this stuff. So be cautious with that. I just wanted to bring that up. It's something that carriers definitely use. You should know what it is. You should have a copy of yours. You should have your hands on it, especially if you're going to buy your first-time owner operator and you're about to make an investment and you are like, hold up, wait a minute. I got a few concerns about this shit. Like, I have been put out of service a few times. I thought that didn't affect me. I thought that was the carrier, not me. Go check it out. All right. So that's definitely the case. And for all my guys who've been calling lately in the last few couple of days, yes, we are 100% owner operator based carrier. So what that means to you is you are the primary customer. The only areas we do not do is going to be California, and we don't touch Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan. So nothing on that island. And the reason I'm bringing that out is because look at that. Everything else is available to you. Our guys, everybody runs a little bit different. It's pretty much a customized dispatch depending on who's the guy in front of us. So that's what we're out here to do, right? Is go maximize as much money as you possibly can in that market, and get that going on your truck. So 100% owner operator based company. The one of the top, we got two pay packages really. The one that mostly guys use is going to be the 75% revenue one. And the reason they take the 75 is because it comes along with a couple perks, right? So here we go. Cargo liability is part of the package deal. So you do not have to worry about that. That's already embedded in there. There's no additional charges. It's already there. Transparency is king, right? So that's monumental to the success of your business. So while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and send you the original rate confirmation. So what does that mean to you? You're seeing exactly what these customers are paying. You get the opportunity to get that the raycon there. If there's a revise because we negotiated more money due to a layover, due to they gave you a bad address or something silly like that, guys, these dispatchers will negotiate more money, get that revised raycon, and get that bad boy into your hands. So that is so important to your business. That's why we put it there, right? So 75%. Original rate confirmation, cargo liability, part of the package deal. No need to worry about that. Trailers, top of the line trailers, 22s, 23s, all part of the package deal. It's only $50 a week for the maintenance fee on it. And let me tell you that maintenance worry-free program, what's going to cover brakes, tires, 90-day inspections, everything maintenance related to that bad boy is going to be covered. And the best part is there's a trailer mechanic on site, and that trailer mechanic on site is doing those 90-day inspections on them. We stay proactive against this, right? We don't need anybody getting put out of service due to something on a trailer. We don't need and again, shit happens, guys. Things are gonna happen. Wires are gonna get loose. There will be blowouts and things happen. We're not immune to trucking. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is the program is designed to keep you moving. This program is designed to be worry-free. And this program is designed to keep you focused on what you do best, is getting to your destination safely and getting and stacking the chips onto your truck. So that's the most important part. And again, with the trailer mechanic on site, those are his babies, those are his trailers. He's taking care of them. You're never going to get rejected at a customer due to bad equipment, rust buckets, and so forth. I've seen a lot of trailers out there that probably should not be on the road. So we never want that to be an issue. All right. So you're getting that. And now you're also getting two different fuel cards, right? And so here's why this program actually freaking works. So the fuel program, you're going to download both apps to your phone, my people. And what you do is you go in between the both of them to see which one is going to give you the better savings. And what that does is if you pay attention, you got this unique opportunity to save, $1,500-$1,600 a month, hands down, no problem. And that, my people, is a truck payment right there. It's a truck payment off the rip. We were just talking about Lone Mountain yesterday. I got an individual who's actually picking up his truck. He'll be here later this week. And guess what his payment is? $1,625 a month. And guess what you can do on the fuel savings? $1,600, no problem. So imagine that you can save your truck payment. Like you can save it just on the fuel. So you have to work the app. The billing team does a very nice job of helping you in the orientation on how to get that done, how to cross-reference them, and how to get you to that part where you're saving as well. So guys, you have to take advantage of that. And the reason it's unique is because no matter what, we push 100% of that savings right to the owner operator. So you're getting 100% of that fuel savings going right back to your pocket. It affects your bottom line. That is money on the table. So you need to snatch that right back and do something a lot more productive than to give it away. All right. So take advantage of that, people. Give us a call, 863-342-5171 to learn more about that program and how we do it and how you can take advantage of that as well. So we're located here in Lakeland, the Mecca of trucking. We have free parking available to owner operators, and that would be for truck and trailer. So you can actually park and stay worry-free, do your 34, or even if you're on 34, turning and burning, or even if you got some home time. We had some guys come home for the holiday, park that truck and trailer and worry-free. It's at the state, it's at the corporate, no big deal. And when they come back, boom, they're heading out. So free parking. So I know a lot of my guys out in Tampa were paying about $1.50 a month. I know Orlando's probably a little bit more than that, but hey, it's an option to save some money. And because we always say trucking is a penny business. So anywhere you can make some savings, you're winning. It's not just about the rates. It's about cost control. It's about, how do you manage some of these fixed costs, because there's so many variables in the game. So for example, you got fuel is going to be a variable. Well, but what can you do to combat that, right? You got a unique fuel card program that's going to allow you to save as much money as possible. You just got to work that program, right? So here you go. That's how you combat that. Another thing how you combat that is making sure you're doing the preventive maintenance on your truck, right? So that you're getting the best, MPG on that truck, right? Very different if you got, 4.8 to the gallon as if you're getting 7.5 or 8 miles to the gallon. That settlement check is night and day. That shit is going to be polarized, my people. So paying attention to those details is what's going to matter, right? So boom, that's what you can combat it, right? Rates, they're going to be variable. There's good markets, bad markets. I think the rates are heading in the right direction. This is the time to be out there. You're seeing it. You got guys that doing 8,000 gross. They put in the work, but it's possible. So here we go. But you got to be out there to get it, right? And what do? That is always going to be a variable. But what can you do to combat that? You have a partnership, right? You got a partnership with your dispatcher, and you got a goal in mind. So if that's the goal, that should be your target. You can adapt on what areas you're willing to go and not go, right? But you're building consistency on the amount of money you're putting on your truck. And the way you have consistency is because you're going to do whatever it takes to put that money. So boom, that's what these dispatchers are going to do. If you're telling him, hey, chase the bag, they're going to chase the bag. I like to say they're not really going to ask where you like to go, not go, sleep, not sleep. They're chasing the bag. And then you got guys that have some limitations. Okay. So they put a little limitations. They don't go here. They don't go there. They don't do this area. Not a problem. We're going to max out within that range that you're willing to do. And we're going to still put that money on your truck. So guys, 863-342-5171. So transparency, efficiency, results driven is the name of the game. Consistency is one of the biggest things that you need in order to be successful. So all my people who are buying your very first truck right now, right? Yeah, you're gassed, you're pumped, you're excited, you're motivated, right? Don't let that phase out. You have to align yourself with people or an organization that is consistent, because the consistency will bring you the results. And the focus point is on what you can control, not what you can't control, what you can control, right? So what you can control is how you show up, using your fuel cards, working with your dispatcher, being available, allowing the person to be creative, doing what's necessary to be consistent with your gross every single week after week, which will bring you the results. All right. So that's what we have here, guys. We do have an additional pay package, which is 85%. The difference there is those guys are coming with their own trailer. We've had several guys under our flag buy their own trailer, which is always nice to see people level up. Proud of them. Good, that's good stuff. You always want to see that. It doesn't mean that that's for everybody. You just have to look at your unique opportunity, how you're running your business, what's going to better fit your business, and it may or may not be for you. So that part, is definitely up to you. But what happens here is you get the opportunity to do those changes, level up, all within one roof. It's not those places where if you're leveling up, somebody catches feelings, and now in order to do so, you have to switch carriers and change everything about your operation, right? So imagine leveling up, but you don't have to change an important piece of the puzzle. One of the most important pieces of your puzzle, your dispatch, right? They know how you run. You guys already have the synergy. You know how to put that money on the truck. It's this like plug and play relationship that's already there, and so you don't have to redesign that. It's kind of funny, man. Like some time ago, we were just talking about that, like when it comes to meeting your new dispatcher, right, and developing that relationship. How does it how long, how long does it take? Number one. Number two, is there going to be that synergy? Is there that connection that's there? And in that, who trains who? Is it the dispatcher training the driver? Is the owner op training the dispatcher? It's kind of like this thing, like, right, everybody's training each other. So in that getting to know each other, right, in that learning curve, if you will, there's some gonna be some missed opportunities, right? Because everybody's running a little different, right? Everybody's gonna be they're gonna run a little bit different kind of miles. Some guys are good for 500, some guys can do 650 to 700. And I know everybody's gonna, say, it doesn't matter. Everybody's different. And that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at ELDs, I'm looking at people's capacities. When you get an orientation, everybody in there is a beast. Everybody in there can do all kinds of shit. And then when it comes time to do it, we're all just built a little bit different. So the unique part about that is it doesn't matter. You just need a team that can adjust to your capabilities, your ideas, right? And collectively get you to the bag, get you to making money and putting that money on the truck. And that's what we do best. You don't have to go just to level up your business. You don't have to go to a different carrier and completely redesign or reinvent your whole operation. You just simply change one part of it and you continue to roll. So 863-342-5171. All right, got a comment. Did the company drop and hook, or it's mostly live loads? Live loads. That's where we get the most bang for the buck. Here's why. We love the versatility. We love the idea to be able to pivot. On a lot of that drop and hook, what's happening is you're going to have to take a load, even if the outbound is, that reload is going to be a shitty load. We're committing ourselves to the customer. The owner operator no longer is my customer. I have to now shift because I have so much trailers invested in this drop and hook. And if I don't show up, they're going to yank the work. So I'm either going to lose the work or the driver. I don't want to be put in that position. I don't want to forcefully send a good owner operator to a bad market because we all think that this drop and hook they're giving us is the best in sliced bread. And chances are the rates are not even impressive. So for us, I love to pivot live loads. If it ain't paying, we ain't going that certain way. And, there's going to be a strategy behind it, working with your dispatcher, finding the best fit for you. Some guys will work in certain areas. So other guys are going to do other areas. But it's about getting to know that synergy. It's about getting to know, how this one cat operates. So what may be good for one guy, a guy totally runs his business different ways. And then that's the beauty of it. So you get to work with your dispatcher. All right. So that's perfect. 100%. Hey, here we go, man. 863-342-5171. Give us a call. If you're seeking that opportunity, kick off this new year, right? I'm sure we all got some goals, right? We got to go get to them goals. We got to put into work. And hit the ground running. So that's what we do. Get on camera right here to explain exactly that. And what we do is we welcome all the comments as well. Questions, please put them there. We'll get them answered. And in addition to that, guys, make sure you smash that like button, share, subscribe. It helps this algorithm get in front of the right people. And, a lot of first-time owner operators are watching this channel. They also check out that Super Trucker podcast. Plenty of videos. You go down that Rolodex of videos that is on there. Plenty of things from how to get your plate and bobtail, cargo, liability, NTL, and explains everything about the business so that you can be successful. So the information we're putting out there is actually for your benefit. So because the more you know, the better opportunity you have to be successful, point blank. And your success is just kind of that ripple effect, right? There is no value for any of our owner operators failing. Absolutely none. So by you being successful, everything is going to fall into place. So we do have a comment. Looking to join the family soon. Hey, welcome aboard. Get that application in. If you have any questions, 863-342-5171. We're always interested in partnering up with the right people. So definitely for sure, give us a call. We can plan it accordingly. I know I've had a lot of guys pick up trucks lately, new trucks to them. So first time owner operators, and planning it strategically is the most important part. You know, it just depends how detailed you are. Like some guys just kind of jump into it. Other guys are going to be a lot more methodical about it. So I've even had guys who, you know, it was a month project, not because I took a month to do it, but because they wanted a plan. You know, they're just very detailed about their plan, making sure they're picking the right truck, making sure every dot, you know, every T was crossed, every dot, you know, every I is dotted, and so forth, because it's their first time. You know, and it's kind of funny. Maybe I take for granted a little bit that we do it so much, it kind of becomes a little easier as time goes by. But again, like I'm not going to disrespect that it's a new process for him. So caution, making sure he's making the right decisions. But guess what? A month later, my man's got his truck. He's in it. He's out there. He's working his plan, and he's getting it to go. So my point is, I can move as fast as we can go, and I can also slow it up a little bit just based on how conservative the individual is that's in front of me. But nevertheless, when you slow it down a little bit, you're making sure you got everything locked down, right? So he was able to pick up his truck. His decision was able to get his own plate. He kind of parlayed the start time until he had exactly, even though the truck was in his driveway already, he had possession of it. You know, he wanted to make sure he left on good terms. So that transition was even planned, but he never missed a work day, right? That's an impressive way to do it because, he never missed income coming into his business. He views it as a business and the cash flow is king. Understanding that from day one, it's going to help his business tremendously because the mind frame is changing from that company driver mindset to a business owner, and a business owner needs cash flow for his business on a daily. All right. So again, if you're thinking about it, guys, 863-342-5171. Again, what we do is we put good ideas in front of good people. We put some options. I just had an individual call yesterday. He's actually looking for some insurance, first time owner operator. So there could be some confusion on this. And this is why we break it down here. I know it kind of gets all over the place. But it's how the experiences are coming to the table. So as I go through them, I explain them. So the individual is looking to get some insurance. He's like, man, but the quote, should I use your address, or can I use your address and not mine? So I'm like, why would you want to use my address? And he's like, it's going to affect the money and the premium. All right. So when you're shopping for bobtail, that's not going to move the needle. So in what he was talking about is probably when he was shopping, if this guy was at some point going to get his own authority and he's doing the liability and the cargo, somewhere along those lines of that big boy insurance, most likely the liability is where that will move the needle. Where do you live? But when you're talking on the phys dam or your physical damage, or you're talking on that bobtail and the non-trucking liability, that's not really going to move your needle to where it's way out of proportion. You might go from 7 to 9% or something like that on the physical damage. That's pretty much normal. Your bobtail, you expect to pay $47 a month or something like that. So what we do, gather the intel, get him aligned, get him in front of the right people that could shop that for him. He either takes it or he doesn't. That's up to him. We're just putting the information in front of him so he can better run his business. And what I mean by that, so if he's better running his business and he's taking control of his fixed costs and adjusting and making them, see which ones can improve in his favor, right? That's a cost savings year after year after year. So you always have to mind that, right? Like pay attention that, MPG is so important to your business. What can you do to support that? We just talked about that. Your insurance. Guys, I've had people who buy a new truck, let's say, and 3 years go by, 4 years go by, or even 2 years. They're never revisiting, adjusting the value of the truck. Remember, that's a depreciating asset. So your insurance coverage should follow that. So make those small adjustments. That's money on the table. So it's those little things that are going to make you successful in this business. Once again, guys, 2026 is here. I hope everybody got a running start. And if not, that's okay. It's still early in the game. Give us a call at 863-342-5171. Join the team. We'll help make it happen. Let's partner up and we can level up your business. So 863-342-5171. And if you're in the area, please stop by 3180 Mulford Road in Mulberry, right? Basically Lakeland, Mecca of trucking. Stop by. We'll show you sample settlement sheets of what our guys are making in this current market. So then you can see exactly what we're talking about face to face. You can meet the dispatch team, ops team. You can actually go ahead and go in the back, check out the equipment. Makes it a tangible experience. Remember, dispatch team is right here, out of corporate. It's not overseas, nothing like that. Everything here is a tangible experience. So we look forward to seeing you and answering your questions. Just give us a call, 863-342-5171. All right, my people. So let's get this year started right. 2026 trucking this should be our year for sure. I've actually seen the rates in our favor. So it's time to go get it. Make sure you're out there getting it. And if you're not, make that call, 863-342-5171. All right, guys, drive safe, be safe. Until tomorrow, we'll see you then. All right, guys, be good.